Romans 8:32. Since he did not spare even his own son, but gave him up for us all, won't he also give us everything else? Hey y'all! It is the first episode of Maia Moments, and I am extremely ecstatic to be here with you guys. Thank you for taking the time out to come and listen wherever you are, whether you're in your car or you're sitting down doing homework or you're doing whatever you're doing. Thank you for deciding to listen to me. Today's episode, we're just going to talk about what to expect out of this podcast, how did the podcast even come about, and then that'll lead into today's topic, which is just do it. What you can expect from Maia Moments is just to have kind of like an ongoing conversation. Whenever I talk to any of my loved ones, my friends, or my family, and we're having a conversation, we veer into other topics. So kind of think of that as what this podcast will be. And each episode is continuing the last episode to a certain extent. And we're just continuing to have a conversation, informal, if you will, but not to an certain extent where we're lowering the content. I want to give you guys quality content at all times. Also, the topics for me are really fun because I thought I was like kind of cool and neat referencing brands or songs or shows in the titles for each episode. So hopefully when you see that show or you listen to that song or you see that brand, you kind of think of Maia Moments there as well. And also adding to that, I hope to bring my friends on so they can talk about their life experiences and things on certain topics because I'm not an expert in any topic. And my friends have taught me so much about life in general. My parents have taught me a lot about life in general. And I think it would be behoove me to allow them to come on here and educate us all on different things that they've learned as well. So moving on though, how did this podcast even come about? It's probably a question a lot of people are asking. And basically, I've been wanting to do a podcast for some time now. I'd say about 4 years now. When I forget what podcast I was listening to, but I was like, this is really cool. And I talk a lot. So it kind of just makes sense to do it. But at that time in my life, I was focusing on YouTube, focusing on that kind of stuff because that I love photography, I love videography, I love my camera, my baby. But my camera lens broke about a year and a half ago. And so I've been in this, honestly, a creative drought. For anybody that's a creative out there, they understand. I hope they understand what I'm saying. When I went through a drought of just not being creative and I feel backed up, if you will. And so, honestly, my mom was talking to me about it over the summer and she's like, you haven't done anything with your YouTube and things. And I was explaining, I didn't want to put out content that I wasn't confident in, that I wasn't proud of, just for the sake of continuing to be consistent, as you will. And when talking to her, it kind of dawned on me that I need to start, maybe pursuing other ways of being creative just so that I'm able to work my wheels. So my sister, shout out to my little sister, Faith, love you, Faithy. She told me about this podcast app and we kind of talked about it and she made her podcast and I was like, you know what, let me just make it. And then I kind of got the epiphany that I needed to start doing branding for myself. A lot of people don't know, but I do a lot of brand and marketing. I've done a lot of brand and marketing for a lot of different companies as like just like a hobby, I guess, as you will. I did it as a job one summer for a company and kind of I'm pretty efficient in it. I wouldn't say I'm amazing, but I'm efficient and I know what to do and how to do it. So I've never done it for myself though. I've created websites like throughout my whole teenage years. I've never done it for myself. And I think it's that time, it's that time to focus on me, who I am, and give myself the best shot when it comes to networking and just presenting myself in the best way. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this podcast thing. And when I created my website, I created a blog as well. And so I'm really busy right now, and I'm adding more to my plate, but it's basically just forcing myself to just do it, which is today's topic. And I'm so excited to talk about it because a lot of times I know I'm not alone in that we have dreams, we have goals, and we never put any action to it. Like we really can see these goals, we can see these dreams, we can see us doing these things, and we never actually put any action to it. And so that's what today's podcast is about. Just do it. Because nothing is obsolete. There is a reason you have that vision, and you have to put action behind it in order to get the dividends. It's so imperative that you don't sit on the different things that you have. And I'm a Christian, and so I believe everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, and its timing. And so, of course, we have the period of preparation, but don't restrict yourself from being your best self because of you're so afraid of certain things. I have no clue what I'm doing with this podcast right now, and that's okay, because a lot of things you learn as you continue to do them and you perfect it. But the excuse of not doing it is not enough anymore. You just have to do it. You have to do it. You have to put yourself out there. You have to go talk to that person, or do that horrible editing job, whatever it may. I'm around a lot of creatives. Shout out to my boyfriend. He's a whole artist. I'll put a quick plug out there for Culture Villains real quick. But I'm around a lot of creative people, and honestly, the best things are created from them just putting themselves out there and doing it. And when I say a lot of creatives, I mean rappers, photographers, any kind of creative you can think of, I'm pretty much around. And I myself am an actress. I'm a singer. I don't like to sing. We'll get to that topic on a whole different podcast, but I'm a singer, and I'm an actress, and I'm a creative content producer, and I create creative content like this, like podcasts, like websites, like YouTube videos, like any kind of marketing thing you can think of. And a lot of the best things were like, oh, I have this idea, and I put action behind it. And so the reason I put Romans 8:32, that verse, as the key verse for today, was just because a lot of times, especially I know for Christians like myself, we feel like, God, I have this vision, but I don't feel like there's been any provision made for it. Like, if I just get that one thing, whatever it may be, that person, that opportunity, then I do it. But do we ever put ourselves in the position to be able to do it? There's this such thing as giving God something to work with, as one of my favorite YouTubers, Vicky Logan, says. And basically is this idea that as long as I'm putting action behind my faith, God will continue to provide provision. One of my favorite sayings is, where God guides, he'll provide. I don't know who I heard that from, but that's one of my favorite sayings, because I feel like it's so true. Wherever God guides you, wherever you feel guided to, there's always provision there for you, but you have to put action behind it. It is not, faith without works is dead. And so if you're sitting idly on a dream or a goal, and you're never even like, let's say I want to create a drawing. The drawing in your head only becomes an actual piece of art when you start to draw it. And it's okay if you make a mistake. But someone also said this, and I thought it was such a mind-blowing. They said, we don't know how many mistakes are in a masterpiece. We just see the finished product and we know that it is a masterpiece. But we don't know with the artist, when he was drawing it or she was drawing it, if there is actual mistakes in that masterpiece. And so it just adds to the idea of just do it. And I hope after this podcast, you feel motivated, you feel inspired to do whatever your heart desires. And I have like 3 different things that I think are imperative when you are putting your action to your goals. Number 1 being write it down, especially for goals that are something that is a success or something that might seem like it's going to take time to get to that goal. Write it down. There is nothing better than me, for myself. Every year I write down goals that I want to accomplish, things that I want to happen. And when I go back to that piece of paper, and I see the goals that I have, and I say, wow, I accomplished this, I accomplished that. And I forget that I even wrote those things down, but they came to pass. And I'm a strong believer in the power of your words, that your words have incredible power over your mind and ultimately over what ends up happening in your life. I think, especially as a Christian, it is naive of me to think that I'm created in the image of God, and God, who literally spoke to creation and it became what he said it was. And to think that my powers do not have an effect on my life. So whether how big or small you think your words are connected to what you end up seeing happen, I think writing things down is it's an act of faith, honestly. It's saying, you know what, this is what I have in my head, and I want to actually just write it down. And it's kind of like a stamp of approval. It's like, especially when you have something creative in your head, it's finally physically putting it into this world. Like, it's not just idly sitting in your mind anymore. You're physically putting it in this physical world, and that helps you to look at it and visualize it and even see it better. Secondly, I think research. And I don't know if some people skip this step, but it is imperative that you research things out. I have learned so much. Most of the things that I've learned has been from my own personal research. And when I say research, I do not mean asking someone else, hey, where's this? There's that. How do you do this? How do you do that? Now, there's nothing wrong with asking others who you know does something that you want to do and asking them a few questions about that. But when you are completely depending on other people to tell you what they've done instead of trying to understand what you need to do for yourself and trying to put in the work to research it for yourself. Like, if I'm asking someone, a photographer, every single time they post a photo, how do you edit this? How do you edit that? And I never go to my own Illustrator or Lightroom and try to edit, or even a simple Visco on your phone and try to edit a photo on yourself. That's not doing research. Research is asking questions, finding answers to those questions and applying them, seeing if they work for you or not. And if they don't, find a new answer to that question. And so, saying all that to say, the best way to learn things through research is people who inspire you. Now, this might not be people that you actually know, but people from afar that, especially with social media, it's so easy to have people on social media that you see and that you're like, dang, I'm inspired by them. I love that. I want to do what they're doing. And just kind of not studying to copy, but studying to understand their methods that might help you can do a lot for you in the long run. And then last but not least, and I didn't put these in any order. Well, I did kind of put them in order, but they don't have to be done in this sequential order. Saying all that to say, though, the last one is start where you are. Start where you are. Again, just do it. And I'm not even preaching to y'all right now as much as I'm preaching to myself, because all the time, I stop myself from doing things because I feel they won't be at the quality that I want them to be because I don't have this tool, or I don't have this tool, or I don't have that, and I need this. And so I'm going to wait, and I'm going to put it off until I get that new computer, or I get that new camera lens, or I get that new application downloaded to my computer. Just start where you are. Start where you are. What you have in your hands is enough. You have everything you need to succeed. You just have to believe that. Believe it. Understand it. Know that you have everything that you need in your hands, and that you will succeed, and you will be able to get that new camera, or that new lens, or that new application, or that new phone, or whatever it may be that is hindering you. Know that when you keep applying yourself with what you already have, because I guarantee you, you can find the solution with things that you already have. When you find that and you continue to apply it, you will be able to then get those other things that you need, and it will help you even more. But start where you are. Start where you are. Please, please, just do it. Just do it. What do you have to lose? You don't have anything to lose. If you fail, you would just be exactly where you are. And I know for a lot of people, you don't ever think about it like that. Like, okay, if you have nothing to lose and something to gain, just do it. Just do it. I truly pray whomever has a dream or a vision and it's honestly been in your spirit, it's been on your mind, it's been on your psyche, and you have not done anything to actually fulfill that dream or goal. It's just something that you kind of have like, yeah, I would like to do that, but I can't really do it right now. I pray after this podcast that you start putting action, you feel motivated to do it, and you do it. This podcast is just an act of me just doing it, just starting where I am and believing that this journey will continue to take me on. Like I said, where God guides, He provides. I truly believe that. And I hope that this helped people that are already doing this, but that they just need that reinforcement of, okay, you know what? I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I just thank you guys so much for listening today. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, Maia Forever. That's MYMYFOREVR. And my Facebook page is at Maia, MAIA, Janae, JANAE. Yeah. So episodes are bi-weekly. So we have an off week, and then on the 20th, another episode will premiere, and we're going to be talking about some fun stuff on that one. So do not miss it. Thank you guys again so much for being a part of this journey. Everyone, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.